worship praise. There are 5 learning objectives. Number 1, we will discuss the law of pre-Islamic Saudi Arabia as a commercial contact. Number 2, early development of Islam. Number 3, the creation and the expansion of the Islamic Empire from 632 to 661. Number 4, the expansion and eventual overthrow of the Umayyad Caliphate between 661 and 750. Number 5, we will learn how Islam connected diverse peoples by creating a branded society and cultures. This slide map shows the expansion of Islam Empire 632 to 732 Common Era. The red area shows the location of the expansion of the Islam world in the globe from 632 to 732. Okay. Contents of the table. Module A, pre-Islamic Arabia. Module B, the rise of the Islam. Module C, Islam expand from 632 to 661. Module D, Umayyad Caliphate 661 to 750. Module E, the society and the culture in early Islam. There are 5 modules in the table. Okay, module 1, pre-Islamic Arabia. Before the advent of Islam, the Arabian Peninsula lay on the margin of Mediterranean commercial world and Mediterranean cultural world, marginal Mediterranean world. Okay, commerce and the commerce. Number 1, isolation and pre-Islamic times. The Arabs were Semitic, speaking people of Southwestern Asia. Semitic speaking people includes the Hebrew and Arabs. Despite its proximity to the Eastern Mediterranean basin, Arabia before Islam was relatively very isolated from the Europe. Isolated from Persian Empire, isolated from Roman Empire, located at the marginal Arabian Peninsula. During the Roman era, this Arabian region was inhabited by Bedouin Arabs. Bedouins were nomadic Arabs organized on a tribal basis, and they Bedouin moved from place to place on the backs of the camels. Camel transport and trade. The Arab city-state first emerged in southwestern region of the Arabian Peninsula by 400 before Common Era. Southern Arab city-state has used the camels and ships to create the commercial network of the land and by the sea. In pre-Islamic era, Southern Arabia saw the rise of city-states that were oriented to Indian Ocean trade. Instead of Mediterranean Ocean trade, okay? Oriented toward to the Indian Ocean trade. This slide shows the Arabian Peninsula before the rise of the Islam. Bedouins live in the Arabian Peninsula. Bedouins were the Arab nomads who rode the camels and trade. These Bedouin people were considered backward. Bedouin people considered undeveloped. They live in the desert. They are nomads who rode the camels. Okay. This map shows the trade route when Muhammad was born in 570. In Mecca. The people from Arabia work in the Caribbean business. This means they traveled throughout the Arabia and beyond, trading goods. This map above shows a trade route in blue and red color, which indicate the land trade route and the water trade route. Okay, summary of Arabian Peninsula. Arabia was a land of caravan trade routes. Arabian Peninsula located in the Middle East, located at the crossroad in the Middle East for 3 continents: Africa, Asia, and Europe. Geography. Arabian Peninsula are mostly desert with a small amount of fertile land. During the Roman era, nomadic Bedouin Arabs inhabited in the Arabian Peninsula. Arabian in the 500s Common Era was politically fragmented, separated each other tribe, each other clan, each other family. The Arabs are about 500 Common Era live in the tribes. Primary occupation of Arabs were trade. This camel trade made the town of the Mecca very, very prosperous. Okay. This map 11-1 shows the physical geography of the Arabian Peninsula. Around the Arabian Peninsula, Sasanian and Persian Empire, Byzantine Empire, located. This fight is proximity to the eastern Mediterranean basin. Arabia before Islam was relatively isolated and turned more toward against the Arabian Sea instead of Mediterranean Sea. Okay? By 400 before Common Era, certain city-state use the camels and ships in order to create the commercial network of land and by sea. Isolated. Okay? Bedouins. Bedouin means in Arab world desert dwellers. Desert dwellers. Arab word Bedouin translated into English as a desert dwellers. Bedouins live in the clans, lives in each family. This family clan gives support to the members, clan members, Bedouin members. Therefore, Bedouins had ideas of courage and loyalty to the family. Bedouins moved from place to place following their herds of sheep, herds of goat, or camels. Bedouin, nomadic herders, use the camels to cross the desert in search of seasonal pastoral and oasis towns. Traditional way of life of Bedouins is to travel the desert for seeking fresh water, seeking pasture land for their animals, for their camels. Bedouin lives in tent and wear the clothing made from the skin and the hair of the animals. City of Mecca. Mecca is a market town at the crossroad of two main caravan routes. Okay, this slide shows, this picture shows the camel caravan. Camel caravan. One humped Arabian camel was first domesticated in the Africa about 5,000 years ago. By beginning of 1000 before Common Era, one humped Arabian camel was introduced in the Middle East, and this one humped camel became popular, very, very popular as a beast of burden. And after the rise of the Islam, this Arabian camel became popular as an instrument of war. By 400 before Common Era, certain Arab city-states had used the camels and ships to create a commercial network of the land and by the sea. Okay, B. Collapse of Saudi Arabia and the rise of the Mecca. The challenges and competitions. In 6th century, Arabia was more politically fragmented. The rise of alternative trade routes. The rise of many alternative trade routes weakened the city-state of Saudi Arabia. As this happened, the regional power engaged in a military contest and a commercial contest and engaged in the religious contest for the Arabia. There are barriers to many regional powers. You will see these regional powers in the subsequent slide. Muhammad born in the most powerful, most famous family of regional powers. You will know this in the subsequent slide. Number 2, the introduction of monotheism. Pre-Islamic times were polytheistic. Bedouin tribes practice polytheism in the form of animism and in the form of idolatry. Number 3, destruction of Saudi Arabian state. The destructions of Saudi Arabian state paved the way for the rise of Mecca. Pre-Islamic Mecca was a religious center and Mecca was a commercial center. Kaaba is located in the Mecca. What is the meaning of Kaaba? Kaaba is an Islam word. Kaaba translated means the shrine, the temple, worship place. For a dead person. Kaaba is a shrine in the Mecca. Map 11-2 show the Arabia and adjacent religions regions. 500 common era. Around the Asian regions of Arabia includes the Sasanian Persian Empire, Byzantine Empire, okay, is Ethiopia. Therefore, the Arabia in 500 years was very, very politically fragmented, and there are too many tribes dominate in each Arabian town. Among the various tribes, Quraysh tribe dominate, control the city of Mecca by 500. And Quraysh tribe assumed the roles of custodians of Kaaba, shrine, temple, and protectors of the pilgrims. Muhammad, founder of Islam, Muhammad was born in the Quraysh family, Quraysh clan. Each color represents the various Arab tribe, okay? Module 2, the rise of the Islam. In the early 7th century, the commercial network and the political network in Arabia was changed because Mecca was assuming the position of more prominence. Prophet Muhammad was born in the Mecca, in the town of Mecca, to a merchant family in 570, Quraysh merchant family. Muhammad was orphaned at the age of 6 and raised by his grandfather and his uncle. They are merchant family. Muhammad lived with his uncle, who was a merchant, and Muhammad became a caravan manager. Muhammad married a wealthy merchant widow named Khadijah. Khadijah was 15 years senior to the Muhammad. Number 2, revelations from Archangel Gabriel. At the age of 40 in 610 Common Era, Mohammed retreated to the side of a mountain, Hira. Name of mountain is called as a Hira. Retreated to the side of the mountain in order to meditate and fast. This mountain will be shown in the next slide. Subsequent slide. While meditating in the cave, Mohammed was visited by an angel named Gabriel. He was told by God, Mohammed was told by God that he was a prophet and there is only one God, Allah. This was the same God that Jews and Christians worship. It was Mohammed's duty to proclaim the word of the God. These messages from the God were later recorded into the Quran. Okay, this slide shows who is Mohammed. Mohammed was born around 570 in the city of Mecca. He was a merchant and prospered from several success caravans sent to Syria. He married his employer. Mohammed married his boss, his employer, Khadija. She was his senior by 15 years old. Khadija bore him several children. Among them, 4 daughters survived. Between Khadija and Mohammed, or but one daughter, or but one, predeceased their father. Only one daughter survived. Okay? Mohammed is the founder of the religion of the Islam and regarded by Muslims as a prophet of God, the last and greatest lawgiver in a series of prophets: Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and other prophets. Muslims consider Muhammad the restorer of the uncorrupted, original, monotheistic faith. Muhammad was also very active as a diplomat, merchant, philosopher, orator, legislator, reformer, military general. And according to the Muslim belief, Muhammad was the agent of divine actions. Okay, this picture shows the cave of Hira. In Mecca, in the city of Mecca. Cave of Hira is located in the city of Mecca. In the cave of Hira, Prophet Muhammad received the first verses of our Quran. Too many people visited these places every year. Okay, I searched all of the Google and found this picture. Okay, this slide shows the Arabian Peninsula trade route about 570. The trade goods that is brought in the Arabia includes the spices, incense, perfumes, precious metals, silk, ivory, etc. These a lot of items words brought into this Arabian Peninsula. Number 3, a new prophet, a new religion, and a new missions. Angel Gabriel told Muhammad to recite what he heard from the Gabriel. That is, there is only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. His wife, Muhammad, wife, Khadijah, encouraged her husband, Muhammad, to accept the call of the God. His wife, Khadijah, was the first convert to the Islam faith. These final revelations became the religion of Islam. He believed that as the last God's prophet and the greatest of God's prophet, it was his mission to introduce this new faith to the people of Arabia. Muhammad began to preach and spread Islam. Islam is an Arab word. Islam means translated into English as a submission to the will of the Allah, the God. Okay? Islam means the submission to the will of Allah, God. Submission to will of Allah, God. Okay? Quran is the people of the book. The people of the book is the Quran. Quran composed of the revelations of Allah to Muhammad. Okay. This slide shows hand-copied page from a 19th century edition of the Quran. Okay, section B, from Mecca to Medina. Number one, after the revelations, Muhammad tried to convert the people of the Mecca to his message, but he was unsuccessful. Nearly all Meccan merchants initially rejected Muhammad's message. When he began to tell everybody about the era in Mecca. However, some people began to persecute him and his followers for their beliefs. Meccan businessmen concerned about the influence of Islam of their city of Mecca, because Islam mandates strict monotheism, and they were concerned that Mecca would lose its appeal to the travelers. Therefore, Meccan people threatened to kill Muhammad. Therefore, Muhammad fled, pride, hijrah to the Medina. Hijrah is an Arab word. Hijrah means fly, flee. Okay? Medina. When Muhammad began to preach openly in the Mecca, he encountered the opposition and was forced to flee Mecca and travel to the Medina. In the Medina, Muhammad announced that Abraham was a great prophet than Moses. Okay, this slide shows the Mecca and Medina Muhammad born in Mecca in 570 and flee to the Medina in 622. 622, the Prophet goes to Medina and set up the first Muhammad set up the first Muslims community in the Medina. These Muslims community is called as the Ummah or Ummah. Okay, Muslim community is called as a Ummah. Muhammad's journey to the Medina is called as the Hijrah. Hijrah, translated into the English language as a flight. There are too many Arab words are here. The Arab terminology into the English terminology, okay? English meaning. Okay? Muhammad early life, born in the Quraysh tribe in 570, but died before he was born, raised by uncle Abu Talib and grandfather. Grandfather told Muhammad to be a merchant, and he became a merchant manager, and his boss, his manager, was his wife Khadija. Khadija was 15 years older than the Muhammad. There are 4 daughters between Khadija and Muhammad. However, 3 daughters will die, and only 1 daughter survived after the death of the Muhammad. Okay, from Mecca to Medina, Hijrah means flight. Islamic calendar begins with the Hijrah. Therefore, 622 Commander was year 1 in the Islamic calendar. Year 1 in Islamic calendar begins with the Hijrah year 622. Okay? When he began to tell everybody about Allah in Mecca, some people began to persecute him and his followers for their beliefs. Mecca threatens to kill Muhammad, and he flees to Medina. Ummah. In the Medina, Muhammad built the first Ummah, Islamic community in Medina. Ummah must follow the 5 pillars of the Muslim worship. Conversion of the Mecca. Conversion of Mecca was the principal goal of Muslim converts in the 620s. Muhammad constructions of the Ummah and Medina gave him a base, a military base, from which to carry out the conversion of the Maker, giving him a religious base, political base, and military base. Ummah was his religious, political, and military base. Once Maker was converted, Muhammad was able to extend his influence over the Arab tribe. Okay, this slide shows the Hijrah 622 Common Era. Hijrah. Two pictures was a symbol of Hijrah. Muhammad alive in Medina. Okay, below picture. Okay, bottom picture. Merchant of Mecca did not take the Muhammad's message, and Muhammad left the city. Much of Mecca's economy is built on the people, built on the travelers, built on the people visiting the Kaaba and its idols. Many idols are located in the Kaaba shrine temple. Okay? Much of the Mecca's economy is built on the people visiting the Kaaba and its idols as a part of the pilgrimage. Therefore, if Muhammad new religion starts taking root, then people, travelers will start coming and the Meccan economy will fall apart. Therefore threatens to kill the Muhammad. Muhammad went to the city of Medina because he was asked by the readers there to share his message with him, with them. This journey to Medina is called Hijrah. Muhammad was now convinced that he was preaching the true message of Abraham and Jesus that had been distorted by Jews and Christians. Okay? Triumph of Islam. While in Medina, Muhammad attracted many more followers and drew more converts to Islam. In 630 Common Era, Muhammad and 10,000 followers returned to Mecca in triumph and forced Meccan leaders to surrender. Muhammad destroyed the idols in the Kaaba and Meccans accepted Islamic beliefs. Finally, Muhammad unified the Arabian Peninsula. After that, Islam spread rapidly throughout nearby land, such as Britain, okay, and Africa, and Spain, and Egypt, and Eastern Roman Empire, step by step. This map shows Muhammad's journey to the Mecca. Journey to Mecca. The battle of Badr. This map shows the battle between the Meccan people, Mecca merchant, and Muhammad and his followers. 300 Muslims confronted 1,000 Meccan soldiers. Muhammad at the Battle of Badr, Muhammad and his wife Khadija supported all of the virgin for this battle. Muhammad takes up a defensive position and relies on the range weapons such as slings and the arrows. In addition, the Muslims also have the religious favor on their side. However, the Meccans were not too enthusiastic in the battle, in the fight against Muhammad. Okay? About 70 Meccans were killed, and another 70 Meccans were taken prisoners. However, only 40 Muslims fall from the horses. Okay? Okay, war between Muhammad and the Meccan continues. Finally, Muhammad conquers the Mecca in 630. Muhammad spares the populace that had opposed Muhammad, and most Meccan people, populace, converted into Islam. Muhammad proceeded to destroy all the idols in the Kaaba. Therefore, Islam take root of the Mecca become the homeland of the Israel. Blackstone of Mecca, or cornerstone is a special divine meteorite. This meteorite there at the foot of Adam and Eve. This blackstone is presently embedded in the southeastern corner of the Kaaba. Fixed in the left side of the gate in the Kaaba. The stone is a dark wood, however, polished, smooth by hands of millions of pilgrims. Therefore, that has been broken into the number of fragments cemented. Okay? These picture shows about that. The blackstone in Mecca, the Muslims kiss and rally around in prayer. Okay? Middle picture shows the number of fragments cemented. Left side picture is a original blackstone, and right side is a polished blackstone. Okay, the Kaaba. This slide shows the Kaaba. Kaaba is the focal point around which the Holy Mosque is built. Around the Kaaba, Holy Mosque is built. The Quran states that Abraham, together with his son Ismail, raised the foundation of the structure. Abraham and his son Ismail raised the foundation of the structure. Therefore, Muslims are obligated to face in the direction of the Kaaba to offer their prayers 5 times a day. Okay? Yemen corner face the Yemen. Syrian corner face the Syria. Iraq corner face the Yemen. Blackstone fixed in a silver brackets. A blackstone fixed in the silver bracket is placed on the left center of the world or the cave. The prophet Muhammad kissed the stone according to the Islamic traditions. Okay? Muhammad's tribal stone either is located in the Kaaba, tribals, Muslim worship here. Okay, two pictures shows about that. Okay, 5 pillars, beliefs and practice of Islam. First, pillars declare the faith. A person must declare the faith. There is only one God. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his message. Second pillar, pray daily. A person must pray to Allah, face the holy city of Mecca 5 times every day. Third pillar, give charity. A person must give alms, must give aids to the poor people. Fourth pillar, fast. No drink, no food from dawn until dusk during the holy months of Ramadan. Fifth pillar is a pilgrimage. A person should perform the Hajj. Hajj means a trip to the holy city of Mecca at least one time in his or her lifetime. At least once in his or her lifetime. Okay, this slide shows the Hajj. Muslim made pilgrimage journey called the Hajj to visit the Kaaba in the Mecca. In the Kaaba, the stone from the heavens are located. These black stones were passed from heaven to the Adam and Eve, to Abraham, to Ismail. Muslim believe about that. Links to Judaism and Christianity. To the Muslims, Allah is the same God that was worshipped in the Christianity and Judaism. Muslims view Jesus as a prophet, not the Son of God. Quran is the word of the Allah as a revealed to Muhammad. In the same way that Jews and Christians believe the Torah and Gospels were released to Moses and New Testament writers. All three religions believes in heaven and hell and the day of the judgment. Muslims, Christians, and Jews trace ancestry back to Abraham. All three are people of the book due to their use of holy book. Below is the symbols of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Okay. Model 3, Islam expand from 632 to 661. In the 7th century, Muslim Arabs rapidly create an extensive empire headed by a leader who held both political power and spiritual power. Okay, the rise of Islam. Muhammad unified the Arabic people both politically and through the reason of Islam. There are 4 lessons for the rise of Islam. First lesson, the will of Allah. Muslims were unified in their belief in Islam and were inspired to spread the word of Allah. Second lesson, divide and conquer. The Byzantine Empire and the Persian Empire were very weakened because they continue to fight against each other. Therefore, Sasanian Persian Empire declined, Eastern Roman Empire declined. That is the second reason for the rise of Islam. Third reason, fair treatment. Muslim rulers treaty conquered the people very fairly. However, therefore, many conquered people converted into the Islam. Non-Muslim must pay special taxes, but non-Muslim can practice their religion freely. Fourth reason, the mighty sword. Arabs were strong fighters. Why was Islam so attractive? The Orthodox Christianity had become so identified with the Greek culture that it seemed totally foreign and unrelated to the life of the Arabs. Persian religion, Zoroastrianism, was also too closely associated with the Persian culture, and so was not considered the real option for the Arabs. The Byzantine and the Persian Empire, especially the Byzantine Empire, was considered oppressive and cruel to such an extent that during the Byzantine and Persian wars, the Jews sided with the Persians. Islam's attractiveness. Islam provides the alternative to the old Arab class structures. Islam gave the poorer Arab a more equal status with the more prestige families. Islam eliminated inner clan fighting, eliminated inner family fighting by removing the local god and spirits and replaced them with the worship of Allah alone. The revered blackstone become the symbolic stone for all Arabs and eventually all Muslims, because all Muslim was not an Arab. Okay? Not all Muslims are Arabs. Okay. Muhammad accomplishment. Until his death, 632, Muhammad spread Islam throughout Arabian Peninsula. While doing so, he created a political empire. Muhammad united Bedouin tribes and brought order, brought justice, and brought hope of heaven to the people of Arabia. Muslim land conquered by Muhammad by 632, as shown in the map. Okay, the death of the prophet. Muhammad died in 632 and rose into the heaven from the Lord in Jerusalem. Muslim built the mosque on this site called the Dome of the Lord. This Lord was holy before Muhammad's ascension into the heaven. The Jews believe the Lord is the foundation stone of Judaism. Jews believe Abraham prepared the sacrifice of his son Isaac from this side. Okay? Therefore, this Dome of the Lord were considered as the holy place of both Islam and the Jews. After the Muhammad's death, Muhammad died of fever, 632. Muslim community left without leader. After Muhammad's death, Muhammad did not appoint the succession, and did not tell his followers how to choose a leader of the Islam. As a result, the panic spread across the empire. Some clans, some families abandoned Islam. Some refused to pay the taxes. Some individuals declared themselves prophet. The Caliph, the death of Muhammad in 632, created the confusion in the Muslim community, for Muhammad had left no details as to who should succeed him. After a heated discussion by the senior members of the community, Abu Bakr was the father-in-law of Muhammad. Abu Bakr was Muhammad's wife, Khadija's father, Abu Bakr, was selected as the first, the Caliph. Abu Bakr became head of the state, head of the chief jurors, head of religious leaders, head of military commander. The region ruled over by the Caliph is referred to as a caliphate. Caliphate is a land controlled by the Caliph. Okay, the rightly guide the Caliph. Following for Caliph who truly followed in the Muhammad's footsteps are called the right guide the Caliph, or Arab word Ladishin Caliph. Four legacy. These four rightly guided caliphs are Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. Four caliphs are referred as a rightly guided caliph. All four caliphs was among the earliest and closest companion of Muhammad. Islamic stand. Okay. An agreement between reader and followers. The basis for the caliph's rule. The agreement binding both ruler and rule is the basis for caliph's rule. Caliph is a chief Muslim, civil ruler and religious ruler. Caliph is regarded as a successor of Muhammad for right guide or Rasidan. Rasidan is an Arab word. Rasidan means the right guide or Rasidan. Caliph were chosen through the Shura consultations. The next four Caliph, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, became known as right guide or Ladishin Caliph, and their rule as a caliphate. Creation of an empire and its successor. Muhammad's first successor was Abu Bakr, his father-in-law, Khadija's father, wife's father. Once Arabs were unified under the Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr began conquering neighboring peoples. In 636, second Caliph Umar defeated Byzantium army on Yarmouk River. 4 years later, Umar conquered Syria and Cairo, and within 7 years conquered the Persia. creation of the empire and success. Second Caliph Umar conquered the Persian Empire and allowed the Zoroastrians to practice their faiths, but asked to pay the non-Muslim taxes. Same applied to the Christians and the Jews. After third Caliph Ottoman's murder, a civil war broke out between the different groups of Islams. Ali was appointed as next Caliph, fourth Caliph, but not accepted by all Muslims. Ali was Muhammad's nephew, cousin. Okay? Ali was a family of Muhammad. Shia Caliph. Okay? Rise of Umayyad under the Rashidun Caliphate, 632 to 661, each region, sultanate, each territory, sultanate of caliphate has its own governor. This governor is referred as a sultan. Muawiyah is a nephew of third Caliph Ottoman, and Muawiyah was the governor of the Syria. Wali means governor, Wali of Syria. Muawiyah became one of fourth Caliph Ali's challengers. After Ali's murder, Muawiyah took the power over the Muslim empire and set up the hereditary dynasty. Muawiyah found and the first Caliph of Umayyad Caliphate. Map 11-3 shows Islamic expansion in Southwest Asia 632 to 661. Green color represents the territory under Muhammad. Dotted green color represents the territory of Islamic expansion, 632 to 661. Purple color represents Byzantine, dotted purple, and brown color represents territory gained from Byzantine Empire. Purple arrow represents the expansion of Islam. Islam's second generation spread new religion beyond the Arabian Peninsula. Once internal leadership questions were settled, Arab warriors burst the force in the Southwest Asia and Eastern Mediterranean basin. Barely 3 decades after the death of Prophet, Islamic forces were master of the expansive empire of their own. Section B, the challenge of the United Islam. Succession crisis. While Arab power extended from Mesopotamia to the Spain, Arabs continue to have fraction dispute Ali's second son, Hussein, disputed the legitimacy of Umayyad and inside his supporters. These supporters was called as a Shia to rise up. Though they were Shia defeated by Sunni, the Orthodox supporters, factions remained. Shia defeated Sunni victory. However, Shia remained. Division resulting from unclear succession. Sunni and Shia Muslim initially split over the question of who should be the caliph. In mid-7th century, a succession conflicts leads to the creation of Umayyad Caliphate and the division within the Islam between Sunnis and Shia. Division within Islam. This map shows the division within Islam. Two sects developed after the death of Muhammad. Sunni, about 90% believed Caliph, the leader, should be chosen by Muslim leaders. Shia, about 10% believed the Caliph had to be the relative of Muhammad. Okay, this slide shows the division of within the Islamic territory. Okay, so Sunni is the largest three sects. Sunni dominated early Islamic empire. Sunni believe that any righteous Muslim can become a caliph, become a leader. This idea was heavily supported by the Umayyad clan, Umayyad dynasty after the Muhammad's death. Shia originally led by Muhammad's father-in-law, Abu Bakr, and his cousin, nephew, Ali, fourth caliph. Father-in-law, Ali Bakr, was the first caliph after Muhammad. Okay? Ali was the fourth caliph after the Muhammad. Okay? Shia believed that the caliph could only come from the family of the prophet. Shia dominated southern Iraq and most of Iran. Fourth caliph Ali was killed and murdered at the Battle of Karbala in the modern day Turkey, Iraq. Karbala, located in the today Iraq, being on the losing side is a sign of righteous, not only only Christianity and Judaism. Surpi, another three sects of Islam. Surpi is a mystical branch of Islam. The whirling dervishes of Turkey are the most famous representative. Holy Dervishes festival is very, very famous in today. These holy dervishes of Turkey are held every September, okay, in the Turkey. Too many travelers visited there for seeing these holy dervishes festival. Because of its mystical readings, it was the ideal form of Islam for India, because it fits in well with Hindu mysticism. Okay, the role of Sufis. Sufis were the role of Sufis were most effective missionaries, referred to as Islamic mystics. Sufis encourages devotion, encourages the people, encourages the Muslim devotion to the Allah by passionate singing and passionate holy dance. Sufis lead ascetic and holy lives and won respect of the people. Sufi encourage the followers to revere Allah in their own way. Sufi tolerate those who associated Allah with other beliefs. Okay, this slide shows the basic difference between Sunni and Shia Muslim. Sunni believe that the first four caliph was rightly guiding tradition, and they believe that Muslim rulers should follow the Sunnah consultations or Muhammad example. Sunni claims that Shia have distorted the meaning of various passages in the Quran. Shia believe that Ali, the prophet's son-in-law, should have succeeded Muhammad. They believe that all Muslim rulers should be descended from Muhammad, family of Muhammad. Do not recognize the authority of the Sunnah consultations. Okay? Why did Islam expand? Like other migrations and invasions we have looked at, they began because of the population pressures. The Arabs had become more numerous and needed more room and needed more economic resources. The Byzantine Empire and the Persian Empire were weak because of their continuous wars with each other, and both, especially the Byzantine Empire, was seen as oppressive. When the Islamic Arab armies come out of Arabia and into Palestine and Mesopotamia, they were hailed as liberators by both Jews and Christians. This slide shows the expanding caliphate to huge Islamic caliphate empire. Okay, see this slide in your home, okay? You can find this map through the Google, okay? Okay, Module 4, Umayyad Caliphate, the first Muslim dynasty from 661 to 650. Umayyad found the temporary solution to the problems of succession problem in caliphate. At the same time, the split between Sunni and Shia become permanent. Umayyad expansion, centralization and expansions. Umayyad moved the Islam capital from Medina to Damascus, Syria. The capital city was Damascus instead of the Medina. Okay, the armies advanced across North Africa and conquered the Berbers during 8th century. Around 710, they crossed Strait of Gibraltar and occupied the southern Spain. Therefore, Spain became a territory of the Caliphate. Collapse of Umayyad Caliphate. The Abbasid, a revolt in 750 led by Abbas, a descendant of Muhammad's uncle, led to the overthrow of Umayyad and established a Abbasid dynasty as the third caliphate. Abbasid, Arabic dynasty, ruled over most of Islamic empire, save the western part from 752 to 1258. They assumed the caliphate title after the ousting the ruling Umayyad dynasty. Umayyad dynasty. In 644, a member of a powerful Meccan Umayyad family, Uthman, was selected and elected as a caliph. In 656, Uthman was killed by a group of those supporting Ali, the son-in-law of Muhammad. Ali was then elected the caliph, but opposed by another Umayyad named Muawiyah, the governor of Syria. Muawiyah claimed the caliphate, fought with the force Caliph Ali, and emerged victorious. Umayyad, the Muawiyah victorious. Again, this is Ali. In 661, Ali was assassinated and Muawiyah found in the Umayyad dynasty. Second, the Islam dynasty. From the point on, the caliphate ceased to be sacred position of leadership for the entire community. However, Umayyad became instead the prize to be voluntarily fought over. The Umayyad were able to change caliphate from an elected position to one that was in fact hereditary. It means that the caliph can be come out only from the Umayyad family. Umayyad family's caliph, passed the caliph position to his son, to his grandson, okay, hereditary. Okay? The Umayyad were also responsible for expanding the Islam to North Africa, Spain, and Central Asia. Left picture was Umayyad Great Mosque, Damascus. With the Umayyad dynasty, the political center of Islam shifted from Medina to Syria. The Umayyad capital was at Damascus, followed the Byzantine type structure and focused the power in the Mediterranean. This Umayyad dynasty survived roughly a century until overthrown by Abbasi in 750. Okay, Umayyad policies and impact. Umayyad tightly run central government. Coins were sent with Arabic words and Arabic symbols, replacing the Christian and Zoroastrian symbols that had previously adorned Islamic coins. And Umayyad established Arabic as a language of administration, and Umayyad favored the Pharaoh era and created the policies that reflected the interests of Arab military aristocracies, ruled the Islamic as a conquerors. Umayyad allowed the conquered people to observe their own religions but lacked the special religious taxes. The taxes referred as jizya on those who did not convert to Islam. The impact of the Umayyad policies are as follows. The Umayyad dynasty succeeded in putting the Islamic Empire together into coherent state, eliminating the remnants of Arabs' nomadic lifestyle and Arabs' gains from the monetary benefit and growing wealth of Umayyad dynasty. Arabs were appointed to the position such as the governor position and administrator position of the conquered realms. The resentment among conquered people and lasciviousness against Umayyad rule occurred. In 685, the Umayyad Caliph Abdul Malik ibn Marwan commenced the work of Dome of the Law, essentially unchanged for more than 13 centuries. The Dome of the Law remained one of the world's most beautiful and enduring architectural treasures. Cordoba, the seat of Umayyad rulers in Spain, was the center of cultural life. Its wonderful mosque has inspired the Muslim poets right up to the 20th century. The Nasiri place of Alhambra in Granada is one of the finest examples of high art and culture achieved by Islamic civilization in Spain. Women gained some right. They were employed in the fields of commerce and in the fields of law, and women took greater control of household operations. Umayyad decline. Umayyad failed attack of Constantinople in 717. This failed attack weakened the Umayyad Empire declined. In 739, Berber subject in North Africa rebelled against Umayyad. The routine discriminations the Arabs imposed on them, class differences. The ruling class had acquired great wealth from its territorial gains, and its lavish lifestyle contrasted sharply with the poverty faced by many of empire's subjects. The opposition group, led by descendants of Muhammad uncles Abbas, called themselves Abbasid. After several military conflicts, the Abbasids succeeded in overthrowing the Umayyad dynasty in 750 and installed their own caliph on the throne. These Abbasids dominate the control of Islam world several hundred years. These Abbasid the dynasties referred as the third Islamic dynasty. Map 11-4 shows the Islamic expansions from 661 to 732. Okay, I have no time to explain in detail, so I skip. Okay, summary of Abbasid Caliphate, second Muslim dynasty. Okay, this slide shows Islamic Caliphate. After the Prophet's death, Caliph controlled the Muslim world. Most famous caliphate was Umayyad dynasty and Abbasid dynasty. Umayyad capital city was Damascus, located in Syria. Abbasid capital was Baghdad, located in Iraq. Abbasid dynasty seized the power in 750, finally beat the Umayyad in battle and killed the entire family except one man. Abbasid also distinguished themselves from Umayyad by attacking their secularism, moral character, and administration in general. Abbasid also appeared the non-Arab Muslim known as Mawali, who remained outside the kingship and based society on Arab cultures, and were perceived as a lower class within Umayyad Empire. This map shows Abbasid dynasty. Okay, two huge territory. Okay, Umayyad created the House of Wisdom. The House of Wisdom is located in Baghdad. Baghdad was one of the largest, most cosmopolitan cities in the world, home to Muslims, Christians, Jews, and pagans from across the Middle East and Central Asia. By the 800s, Baghdad, probably nearly half the million people, and was the largest city in the world outside China. Okay, golden ages. Abbasid is the dynasties period referred as the golden age of Islam. Okay, Harun al-Rashid. Harun was a great patron of art of learning and is the best known of unsurprised splendor of his court and lifestyle. Some of the most famous stories is the 1001 Night were inspired by glittering Baghdad court and King Sharia. Okay, this slide shows the Muslim world today. Okay, Module 5, Society and Culture in Early Islam. The mosque and Sharia united Islamic community. Sharia. Religious observance of the mosque is a Muslim house of prayer. Mosque do not contain a portrait. Prime purpose of mosque is to serve as a place where the Muslim can come together for prayer. There is no statue, there is no portrait, there is no any depiction of God, no angels, no depiction of any person, no depiction of angels. There are only ornamental decorations in the mosque. The verses from Quran are located in the mosque. This slide shows the Muslim architecture. Okay, this slide shows the great mosque located in the Mecca. Okay, the Dome of the Rock. This slide shows the Dome of the Rock. Left picture represents the original rock. Muhammad died in 632, and the Muslim believed that Muhammad rose into the heaven from this rock in Jerusalem. Therefore, Muslim built the mosque on this rock, on this side, this side is called as a Dome of the Rock. The rock was holy because Muhammad's ascension into the heaven. This same rock is believed by Jews to be the slave upon which Abraham bound Isaac and nearly sacrificed him. And it was the rock upon which the Ark of Covenant was put. Okay? Or legal uniformity, the Sharia, Islamic law and daily life. Sharia is the work of Muhammad and describes the way of life and pathway to paradise, as well as an Islamic legal code. Islamic law, Sharia, is essential, moral, spiritual offering, a foundation for the personal conduct and daily life. Sharia is now considered unchangeable by most Muslims. The gender, Islamic law, women have certain rights, but they are not equal to the man. According to the Sharia, a man is allowed to take a maximum 4 wives at one time. Okay, unifying the Protestant Islam, Sharia system of law and code of law. Sharia regulates the moral behavior, regulates the family life, regulates the business, regulates the government, regulates etc. Sharia helps followers to interpret the Quran and to apply this Sharia to everyday life. No separation of church and state. Quran apply to all aspects of life, secular life and religious life. Theocrat, it means the theocrats, Arabic language, Quran and prayer in Arabic only. Okay, this slide shows the Salah. What is the meaning of Salah? Salah, or ritual worship, Salah. Salah mandate the sequence of the Islam prayers to be performed 5 times prayer every day. Okay? Toward the holy city of the Mecca. Okay. This slide shows the key days and developments. Okay. Okay. See this slide and your home. Okay. 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 This chapter has a lot of topics to discuss. So I consume the more times. That's right.